Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amada TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur, on Instagram at divine_goddess_27, Brighton, Patreon, and melanated people at Queen Shakur, and Twitter at dgoddess27. Okay, and please let's go ahead and get the likes up. Please go ahead and like and share the video. Hello, GA Fit Health, Cherokee Descendant King, Brandon, JP, Pearly, Celia, Chelsea. All right, Silent D. So let's get into it. So I have a PowerPoint once again. Hello, Colin, Ayon, Rain Love. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so we can view this PowerPoint. Okay, so this is just going to be a brief commentary about how we grow spiritually, right? To achieve the things we need and want in life. The mindset for spiritual growth. So let's get into it. Spiritual growth. In this mindset, this is where you want to set intention, right? You want to set intention. You know, like when you try to manifest things, when you pray, when you focus on the things that you want, you have to set your intentions. You have to say to yourself, you have to be very specific because the universe doesn't guess. Right? The universe takes what you say out of your mouth. That's why I tell you all the time that our thoughts are energy and our thoughts manifest into reality. So when you want something, you have to set your intentions and focus all your efforts on that. And you have to think positively about it. Don't dwell on things that you don't want. Because if you're thinking and focusing your energy on things you do not want, the energy doesn't know this is something you don't want. All the universe, the universe doesn't know this is something you don't want. All the universe knows is this is what you're putting your energy into. Okay? So you can actually manifest something that you don't want simply by speaking on it, focusing on it, you know, and always worrying and stressing about it. So rather than worrying and stressing about things you do not want, focus your energy and your thoughts on the things that you do want. Set your intentions and raise your vibrations so that you draw these things to yourself rather than things you don't want, right? Now, a spiritual mindset supports the intention to lead a soulfully conscious life. Now that you're awakening into your consciousness, you would like to view life as a spiritually aligned lens. Now, usually people understand mindset as just a set of beliefs or an attitude. The beliefs let you frame the situation that you're in. They determine your perception of how you see things. And remember, I always tell you that perception is reality, right? Whether you interpret things to be positive or negative, your mindset has a huge part to play in that. And that goes back to what I said previously. If you're focusing on the negative, then you will attract more negative things. You will attract negative people. And here's another thing. Sometimes negative people will also be attracted to you because you are positive, because they are dark. Negative people have negative energy, which makes them dark beings, dark spirits, dark souls. And if you're positive, then you are a light being. Right? A light spirit, a light soul. So a dark person will be attracted to your lights. Okay? So you have to pay attention to that. Sometimes nefarious people are attracted to you simply because of your light. And that goes back to what I've also told you previously about the psyche vampires. You see, the psyche vampires are low vibrational. They're very needy people. They always need something. They worry, they stress, they talk in pessimist, they're always very pessimistic, right? They talk and focus on the negative, never saying anything inspirational, motivational, or any of that. It's always something that is downtrodden. It's always something that is, gloom, despair, something that always is just, low vibrational. And you cannot align yourself with these people because they will inevitably suck the energy out of you. They want to call you and tell you all their problems and what they're going through, and they want you to give them the solutions. That's because they need your light. They're sucking the energy out of you because they don't have anything but negative energy for themselves. And then if you have a problem and you call them to talk to them, they don't want to hear it. They'll quickly get off of the phone. I know you have experienced this. Somebody who's always throwing a pity party for themselves, who always wants everything focused on them, who's me and I and everything, and they never talk about anybody else's issues. They never want to listen to anyone else's problems. These people are psyche vampires, and the psyche vampire will always come to you for you to make them feel better, for you to offer them encouragement, but they will never come and listen to your problems. They always have something better to do. Okay? Shalom, Queen. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Miss Lisa Cabrera, beloved. Thank you. And shalom to you. Thank you for your kind contribution. Peace, love, and blessings, beloved. Now, for those of you who don't know who Miss Lisa Cabrera is, she has a channel. Lisa Cabrera is her channel, and make sure you watch her because she gives out very good information. I've been on her show at least twice. So make sure you also like and share her videos and subscribe to her channel. Okay? Now, so as I was saying, these people that are low vibrational, they just can't see the world in a positive light. You know, it may be things that they've gone through in their life, or they may just simply be envious of others. They may not have anyone who inspires and uplifts them. So everything about them is just always down and just always negative. And they obviously have not reached their higher stages of consciousness. Now, a spiritual mindset is not just about a set of uplifting beliefs. Rather, it also refers to the set of spiritually aligned beliefs that influence your reactions and your behavior. Okay, now sometimes, with that being said, sometimes people, you know, do things that we don't like. They say things about us or whatever. And then, you know, we get emotional. We get upset, right? Sometimes we blurt out and retaliate, and we say things that we don't mean, things that we wish we could take back later. But once the words have come out of your mouth, the damage is already done. So what we need to try and do, as I told you before, is rise above emotions. You can't just walk around, you know, wearing your emotions on your sleeve, because this often gets us into trouble. Once you put the energy out there and you say something that hurts someone, or you talk condescending to someone, these things stay within that person. They don't forget it. And oftentimes you feel bad about it later, but what can you do once you've already let it out? So with that being said, we have to learn to rise above our emotions. Don't take everything personally, right? Sometimes people are going through things and they may just lash out at you. Try to sit back and look at the situation, assess the situation, and then maybe you can find that something is wrong with this person. Maybe they're, you know, going through something before you just go off on them. It's very good to always try to refrain from being in our feelings, being in your emotions. A lot of times, if you're in your emotions, you cannot even take constructive criticism. Sometimes people are telling you something that's to your, you know, to stop you from doing something that's to your detriment. But then you say, oh, they're just hating on me. Oh, they just don't want to see me do this and that. Oh, they're just jealous. It's not always that. Even though we have a lot of people who do those things, sometimes people are trying to give you good information. Sometimes it's tough love. And you shouldn't want people to always tell you something, you know, just that you want to hear, right? Some people don't want to accept the truth. They'd rather you continue the lie or go along with their narrative. At the end of the day, we have to be able to accept constructive criticism, and we also have to be able to give it when the need be. But we need to rise above our emotions into positive thinking and into a positive mindset. When you can do this, that's when you realize that you are elevating your stages and levels of consciousness. Melanie Warren says, good morning, Queen. Love your channels. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thanks for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Now, beliefs are made up of thoughts. And we all know that thoughts are energy, right? And we all know that thoughts manifest into reality. Now, when thoughts become conditioned and habitual, you define yourself by them. And you actually, they are who you actually become. Remember, I told you, the Bible says, whatsoever a man thinketh, that so he is. Also, a quote from Henry Ford is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. So if you think you can't accomplish your goals, if you think that you're a loser, if you think that your life is miserable, if you think you're not going to get more money, if you say that you're broke, all of these things come to pass because you're thinking these things into existence, manifesting them, right? Now, they influence you at the identity level. See, many people struggle because they fail to examine the beliefs that they have unconsciously created or made in the past. Problems arise when they identify with mistaken ideas. If you are hoping to discover your true nature, you will need to shed all of the layers of untruths. Untruths are beliefs such as, I am not worthy, I am not lovable. These untruths are likely to prevent you from reaching your highest potential. You cannot speak to yourself in condescending or pessimistic tones. You have to always speak positive affirmations to yourself. And especially for those of you who are parents, speak positive affirmations to your children. Speak life into them. Do you know why so many children are committing suicide lately due to bullying, due to people saying hateful things to them when they go off to school? That's because some of the parents have not done the work at home. They have not instilled in them to have high self-esteem. They have not instilled in them to love thyself, to believe that you are extraordinary, that you have potential, that you are wonderful, you are amazing, that you are put here for a divine reason. These are things parents should be telling their children. If you tell your children how important, special, and awesome they are, how wonderful they are, how beautiful they are, how loved they are, then they will accept that and they will carry that with them. And then when someone comes and tries to bully them, saying hateful things to them, trying to talk down to them, criticizing and just being hateful, they will not accept that because they have already learned who and what they are. They will not listen to the haters who are out here saying these negative things to them. A lot of these little children who have committed suicide, and I've done stories on them. I'm going to do one again. But as young as 9 and 10 years old, why would a 9 and 10-year-old child even be thinking about taking their life? Why would they even be listening to their peers at school? Here's the thing. Parents are the first teachers of our children. What you say to your children, they take that to heart more so than they likely would their little friends at school. If you instill positive things in them, if you give them positive affirmations. When my sons were little, when I would take them to school and drop them off, I would always give them positive affirmations to start their day off. I would always do that, so that they would have this positive energy, this ray of light within them as they started out their day. When you put that inside of your child, it's hard for someone to come along and darken their spirit. Now, which mindset are you having? A fixed mindset or a growth mindset? You should ask yourself. Carol Dweck is a professor of psychology at Stanford University, and she's done extensive research over the past 30 years about how thoughts determine success. She makes the distinction between having a growth and a fixed mindset. You see, in a fixed mindset, you believe that success is based on innate ability, such as intelligence and talent. You see them as fixed traits. And so you spend your time proving your intelligence or talent instead of actually developing them. Some people think, you should work on the things that you're not good at. You can do that. But do you realize how extraordinary you could be if you actually worked on things that you were already good at? If you work on things that you're already good at, that is how you become great. Because we all have strengths and weaknesses. So ask yourself, should I spend all my time working on my weaknesses, or should I spend my time working on my strengths to make them even stronger? That is how you become great. That is how you become extraordinary. You can work on the weaknesses later, but you should focus more of your energy on the strengths that you have, because those are the things that will lead you and guide you to success. Now, with a fixed mindset, you are inclined to believe that you cannot achieve success where you are not smart enough. If you believe that you are not born with the right genes or traits, you could decide to adopt a defeatist attitude, because it is as if there is nothing that you can do to change your fate. As a result, you then limit your learning and become unwilling to invest in your own growth. You become stagnant. You're just stuck in the mud. Like you feel like you can't move forward. Again, it goes back to the story I told you about the baby elephant. That example of the elephant having a rope around its neck tied to a stake in the ground. The baby elephant can't go any further than the length of rope allows it. As it grows and develops and becomes bigger and stronger, pretty soon the length of rope can no longer hold it. But the elephant, now an adult, still doesn't go any farther than the length of rope initially let it go. That is because the elephant is stuck in the mindset, a fixed mindset. It thinks that it cannot go any further outside of the realm of where the rope once allowed it to go. And that is how some of us are in our thinking. We think this is just as good as it gets. I have to settle. I'm never going to be able to get my dreams. I'm never going to be able to achieve my goals. I'm never going to have the life I want to live. So I'll just take this one, mundane though it is. That is a defeatist attitude. It is never too late to accomplish your goals and dreams. I actually saw a man who was 94 years old, graduated with his bachelor's of science degree. 94 years old. Something inside of him, that's likely something he always wanted to do his entire life. And something inside of him pushed him forward to go ahead and do it. Something told him it wasn't too late. Something told him, I still have time. At the end of the day, a lot of us sometimes we think down on ourselves. You know, we have low self-esteem. We have a defeatist attitude and an attitude of lack, an unbelief in ourselves. We don't believe that we can do things. And when you start thinking that way, you've already lost. You have already lost. It is never too late until you're 6 feet under. But as long as you're here in this realm, you can keep on trying, keep on achieving. And remember, there is always room for improvement. Now, conversely, in a growth mindset, you believe that success is based on hard work, learning, training, and persistence. Even if you have brains and talent, you still understand that they are just the starting point. You have an incremental view that is behind your love for learning and an attitude of resilience. Like I have told you about myself, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. I am relentless in my pursuits and endeavors. I will not be deterred. I will not be stopped from doing what the Most High has put me here to do. That is my life's goal, and I will continue to strive to do what I'm supposed to do. That is how you have to be. When you have a growth mindset, you know that you have the potential, you know that you can do it, and you know that you will do it. Now, in a growth mindset, your focus is less on the outcome, but more on what can be achieved by taking part in the learning process. You also understand that no one has ever scaled heights, not Mozart, not Picasso, Michael Jordan, without years of consistent practice. You enjoy modeling success so that you can up your game. Let's talk about Michael Jordan for a minute. Michael Jordan, when he was in high school, and I think he was in the 10th grade, he got cut from the team. He literally got cut from the team. Now, some people would have just quit. They would have given up. I'm not good enough. I didn't make it. That's the attitude that some people would have taken. Can you imagine if Michael Jordan had taken that attitude? But he didn't. You know what he did instead? He focused on his strengths and made them even stronger. I saw an interview years ago where he talked about this. He didn't focus on his weaknesses. He focused instead on the things that he knew he was strong at. And that's how he became extraordinary. Now, modeling the success mindset for spiritual growth. The mindset is something that all of the great CEOs, successful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and Olympic athletes have. See, they have the mindset, their mindset coaches them to help them achieve higher and higher breakthroughs. For support, they also surround themselves with mentors, with peers and team members, with a positive group mentality. It is how glass ceilings are shattered and new records are broken every other day. And I have also told you this before. When you want to live a positive life, you cannot surround yourself with negative people. You have to be around people that are like-minded, people who encourage, motivate, and inspire you. Not people who are pessimistic rather than optimistic, not people who are naysayers, not people who tell you you can't do it instead of encouraging you as to how you can do it, not people who don't want to help you rather than those who want to lend you a hand and say, hey, this is what you want to do? Well, how can I help? How can I help you help yourself? How can I help you achieve your goal? Those are the types of people you want to be around, not the negative Nancy's, and the people who are always talking down on you and making you think you're crazy for wanting to do certain things, telling you, no, it's not going to happen. You're not going to make it. That's a silly idea. Why would you do this? You should be doing this. You don't want to be around those people because, as I told you before, on your journey through life, on the road to spirituality and to heightening your sense of awareness and to raising your levels and stages of consciousness, everyone is not meant to go with you. There are some people who will not be on the same boat. And you have to inevitably leave those people behind because, trust me, like concrete cinder blocks strapped to your ankles, they will only serve to bring you down. And remember, everyone who smiles in your face isn't your friend. Some people smile in your face and act as though they're your ally simply so they can have a front row seat to your demise. Let me go to the comments for just a moment. Thank you, CCB, beloved, for your super sticker contribution. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like spirituality is more than just accolades. It's just in awards and trophies and all of those things. It's much more than that. True success has to incorporate spirituality, thus making the choice to view and approach life from a spiritual angle. Now, that would involve developing a spiritual mindset, and a spiritual growth mindset sets you up with true success in the world. When you can elevate your levels of consciousness, when you can accept your flaws and know that these are things that everyone has, it keeps you from being insecure and shy. It keeps you from having low self-esteem. When you can say positive affirmations to yourself, when you can speak life and positivity into yourself, then you can rise above the low-level vibrational ways of thinking. Some of us are stuck in low vibrational thinking, and we don't know how to get out. It may be because of things that we were told as children. Unfortunately, everyone doesn't have good, loving, kind, considerate parents who will tell them things to encourage them. Some of us have parents who talk down to us. Some of us have parents who verbally and physically abuse us. Some people have been told by their parents that you're never going to be nothing. You're just like your no good father, or you're just like your no good mother. Some of us have parents who instill these things in us as children. And as we grow and get older, we come to accept and believe these things. These things stay in the back of our minds and they keep us stagnant. We don't feel like we can make it. We don't feel like we're worthy. And that's unfortunate that some people speak to their children that way. That's why we should always watch our words. We should always, because I told you before, words, we cast spells with words. If you say something enough times, you manifest it. And also, if you say something to other people or certain people enough times, you may program them into having that constant way of thinking. So we should not be talking down to our children. We should always uplift them, and we should uplift others. And if somebody's going through something, and if you care about that person, you should be trying to tell them something positive, not telling them something negative. I told you all, I had a so-called friend once who, if ever I would call them about a problem, they always make me feel 10 times worse than I did when I called them. Here I am calling them for them to help me feel better about something I'm going through, but they say all of these negative things, and I end up feeling much worse. Well, they say things like, well, you know, you're not going to be able to do that, right? Well, you know, it's too late. Well, you know, you need to do something other, you need to do something different. Always talking down. At the end of the day, if people don't serve to help you with your issues that you're going through, why would you bother to tell them? Some people want to take your problems and just talk about it as gossip. They don't want to help you with it. You have to be careful who you pour your heart out to. You have to be careful who you share your problems with, your issues, because some people will be wishing bad on you in the first place, and they'll start saying negative things, trying to manifest those things on you, trying to cast spells and using witchcraft and sorcery, as I've told you before. So you have to stay away from these negative people, and you have to be able to decipher who is really being truthful and authentic with you, and who is really being fake and just simply coming along for the ride. And also remember that a lot of people, they're perfectly fine with you as long as you and them are on level playing ground. But as soon as you start to excel past them, they have a problem, because they feel like you're going to leave them behind. So they'll start talking to you in negative tones, and they'll start telling you, or they'll start trying to talk you out of your dreams. So you have to be aware of those things. Tanya says, absolutely, Queen. Thank you, beloved. B. Zilla says, you better know it. Hiram says, some of my oldest acquaintances are blocked. Absolutely. We have to block some people out of our lives, because everybody is not meant to go with us on this journey through life. They're not meant to rise with us into higher levels of consciousness, because some of them just don't want to. They want to stay low vibrational, and they don't want to hear truth. And the truth isn't always pleasant, but we should hear it nonetheless, because if you know the truth, then you know how to strategize. If you know the truth, even about yourself, then you know the things that you need to work on and things you need to fix. LeVar says, so true, Queen, especially when there is pressure on people to have everything together by age 25. And if you don't, then you're worthless. Absolutely. Thank you for your insight, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings to you. This is absolutely true. Listen, when people put things on you and say, well, you need to be doing this, and they give you time limits and ultimatums and say, well, you need to have this done by the time you're this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. In life, we go through obstacles. We have stumbling blocks along our way. And sometimes we have difficulties that we seem to struggle to overcome, right? But remember what Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there is no progress. When people are telling you, oh, you are not going to be anything, you're not going to amount to anything, oh, it's too late in life, just remember what I told you. It's never too late until you're dead. As long as you have breath in your body, it's never too late for you to change your circumstances. It's never too late for you to rise above the situation that you're in. And that's just a fact. There's always room for improvement. Natural Warrior says, thanks, Queen, for all you do for us. Much love. Well, thank you, beloved. Thank you. And also thank you for your contribution into for the channel. So with that all being said, I just want to remind you all to try to stay positive. And I know sometimes it's hard, and we're going through a lot right now with all the things that are going on. People are out of work. People are struggling to make ends meet. Some people are struggling to even put food on the table. There's going to be a lot of people evicted after July the 31st because of the eviction moratorium being, lifted. With that all being said, though it is hard, always try to look at the bigger picture. Try to understand that circumstances change. Try to understand that what's going on today may not necessarily be the same problem that you have tomorrow. Try to find solutions. And also, instead of harping and dwelling on the negative aspects of your life, try to solve the problems. One thing that I see that a lot of people do is they don't focus on the solution to their problems. They just keep talking about the problem. That's all they do. It reminds me, it makes me think about, how a lot of our people go out there and protest. When we have someone killed unjustly or things like that, a lot of our people go out there and protest. We should know by now that protesting doesn't yield us any beneficial rewards. Our people have been protesting for decades, right? Have been protesting for decades. We already know what the problem is. The problem is a system of wannabe white supremacy. So at the end of the day, we can talk about the problem, but we've been talking about it for decades. We can go and march and protest about the problem, but we've been doing that for decades. What do we need to do? I'm glad you asked. We need to look for solutions. As I told you, one of my solutions is this. Stop spending our money with the very people who oppress and stress us. Stop catering to them. Stop keeping our money in their establishments because they use that in our oppression. Instead of sitting here complaining, we need to look for solutions. It's okay to complain, but at the same time you're complaining, you have to be trying to figure out how to get yourself out of the predicament that you are in. We have to start being on code. When you are on code and you're on one accord and you all have adopted the same ideology to know that this is what we want to achieve, this is what we need to do, then that's how you start fixing the issue. As long as we continue to do the same things we've always done and that our ancestors have always done, and that's complain, but then you go and protest, we'll get the same end results. And the powers that shouldn't be, they know this. They know it's going to be the same results. They know it's not going to yield anything beneficial. LeVar says the gender war isn't a solution either, back and forth. Absolutely, beloved. Thanks for your insight and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Absolutely. So we have to also realize that strategically, the powers that shouldn't be use their best tactic, which is divide and conquer. And if we keep falling for their BS, we'll continue to stay stagnant, never reaching our full potential as a nation of people, right? We first have to learn who we are. Some of us do not know who we are. And so when they hear all of these things being said about us, how our people are demonized and vilified, that stays in their mind. And that makes them low vibrational. It also makes them have low self-esteem. It keeps them from rising to their true potential. It keeps them from reaching their Kundalini energy and raising their levels of consciousness and coming into their God-like self or their Christ-like self. So we have to stop being stuck in cognitive dissonance. We have to stop suffering from Stockholm syndrome, and we have to stop allowing pessimistic people, hateful and wicked and deceitful people, to dictate the narratives of our lives. It's time for us to dictate our own narratives. It's time for us to establish our own agenda, because no one else is going to do it for us. No one else is going to do it for us. We have to start staying on code and adopting a more positive mindset and looking for solutions and talking about solutions to our issues, rather than just always talking about what is wrong or what the problem is. We know what the problem is. We know exactly what the problem is. And since we know that, we should be more so focusing on the solutions. I'm going to close out by giving you your lifelines. As I have told you, Spirit has told me that famine is impending. I've been telling you this for months. With that being said, the CDC and the Pentagon have a whole zombie apocalypse protection awareness program. And trust me, they don't have it for nothing. With that all being said, we must prepare ourselves for what is coming ahead, because it's only going to get worse for the next, for the next year or so. So with that all being said, make sure you stock up on your water, your non-perishable items, your guns and ammunition. Make sure your guns are clean so they don't jam on you when you need them the most. Be ready to protect and defend yourself. Make sure you have at least enough food and water to last each person in the household at least 3 months. They're telling farmers not to plant crops. They're leaving freight sitting at ports for days and months. One guy said that they had left the freight at the port for like 37 days, longer than a month. Why are they not delivering these things to their designated areas? I'm just saying, it seems like they're purposely trying to starve people. And they already know that people are doing without. So with that all being said, don't be caught lacking, because that's what we can't afford to do. And you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again to Queen Amadaya TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. Don't forget to tune in at 6 p.m. on Authentic Black Goddess TV and also on the Queen EST TV show for your daily vitamins at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will also be going live tonight on the Paranormal channel. Queen Amadaya TV presents Beyond the Realm. I'm going to be doing numerous videos on there, at least 3. So please make sure you tune into those, okay? And I hope you all enjoy the rest of this day. Stay blessed. Know that you are highly favored. Know that you have a divine purpose and that you are here for a reason. You are not here by mistake or happenstance. Also, be sure to do something constructive and productive, never destructive. And remember, I've got my third eye on you. Peace.